2017. What comes next? What's up, guys? Jason here, aspiring entrepreneur, taking you from A to Z, everything I'm doing to build an online business from scratch. And in today's episode, number 24, I'm just going to be recapping what I've worked on so far, what I've shown you guys so far, and then what's coming next in the next 3 to 6 months coming into the first 2 quarters of 2017. So a quick recap. Up until this point, I have been building an online sales funnel showing you guys everything I'm doing to essentially get clients for my business and lead generation consulting. So my part-time job right now is working as a PPC specialist for a marketing agency here in Seattle. And of course, I thought, well, hey, why don't I take that skill set and use it on a little side project? Because like many entrepreneurs, I'm ADD. Even though I like what I do and it takes up most of my day, I still have to be doing something else, right? And that's been a blessing and a curse. And that's kind of what the focus of today's video is on. It's entrepreneurial ADD and how to zero in and focus on those few things that are important, or in this instance, the one thing that is important. So just to give you a little background here, you've been following, hopefully you've been following along on this journey that I've gone through, where I started out the very first episode. I outlined this great plan for the next, I think it was a 6-month plan to build a sales funnel, to show you how to set up a webinar and, drive traffic to it, all that fun stuff. So the good news is that goal was met. I did meet that goal. Did I make the sales I thought I would? No, absolutely not. So the sales goals, not so much, but the action goals were met. And that can also be, when you're just getting started, just as important, because at least I've built the car. Does the car drive? No, not really. I mean, it needs a lot more fuel too to get off the lot, but at least the car is built, and all I need to do is throw in some fuel, aka advertising dollars, and figure out how to drive it. So the car is driven. And from what I've observed over the past couple of years with internet entrepreneurs is, and this isn't bragging at all, but most of the time we fall in this trap of just buying course, and making little tiny actions and then never really get that whole sales funnel complete. So the good news is I've showed you guys exactly how to set up that whole sales funnel. I think because it's been so spread out over the past couple of months, I'm going to go through and I'm going to condense it into like this mini course. This is all free, by the way. I'm not going to charge anything for this. This mini course that will kind of just rapid fire through everything that I've done to set up that sales funnel, because I want to share it with you guys. I want you to shortcut that process, because one of the hardest parts of entrepreneurial ADD is staying focused and getting to the parts of your business that are most important. And when you're just getting started, most of the time, that means parts of your business that are going to bring you clients or more income. So that sounded a little funny, right? Income or clients. Clients, or when I say clients or income, I view it as either you have a product that you're just trying to sell, so you just have customers. You're not necessarily looking to build the same type of relationship with when you'd have a client, because clients typically would pay you more, you're more involved with them, as opposed to maybe you just have a course or a book that you're putting together and you're just going to have customers. So you're mainly focused on income as opposed to clients, building that client relationship and increasing that client value long term. Of course, you could do the same thing with customers. It's just a subtle difference when you're just getting started, because you only have so much bandwidth. So back to this entrepreneurial ADD. Now, there are 2 types of entrepreneurial ADD. And I want to go through both of them, because I've discovered after a lot of reflection, I have both of these. Looking back on 2016, all the things I've done, and then looking forward into 2017, kind of what my goals should be and what projects I should be working on. So there's 2 types. So type number 1 is shiny object syndrome. And you'll have this if you've purchased more than 2 courses or 2 books in the past month. We'll just say a month. Maybe it's a week, but it's something that us internet entrepreneurs, and I think all entrepreneurs, fall into, where we want to get the latest book. You see, I just went to the library and picked up Gary Vaynerchuk's Jab Jab Right Hook. I've actually never read this book before. Go figure. So I'll definitely be reading this. And that's another fun tip. When you're picking up books, just go to the library. 99% of the books you read, you don't really read more than once, or you just take notes on it, and then you're good to go, right? So there's number one to help you with shiny object syndrome. And then number two to help you with shiny object syndrome in terms of courses is be really strategic about the courses you purchase going forward. I don't want to do a blanket statement saying don't buy a course or buy all the courses you can get, but choose one. I would say choose one every 3 months. Like never, I wouldn't recommend purchasing a course more than once a month. And why do I say that? Well, because number one, after spending thousands of dollars on courses, the things start to get repetitive. And you always think like, oh, maybe there's that one thing I don't know, or maybe this course is going to give me that one more thing. You have like 3 or 4 different courses on Facebook advertising. And I still did this, still crash and burn, right? So the courses aren't necessarily going to ever let you circumvent that process of crashing and burning and having to figure it out on your own. And I think that's definitely something that's not included in course sales letters, of course, because if they told you that, you probably wouldn't buy it, right? But just remember that shiny object syndrome as an entrepreneur is something you really want to be cognizant about, and looking at the balance between how many books am I buying, or do the library thing and just borrow the book, and if you don't rent it, you just return it, or don't rent it, you don't read it, you just return it. And then with courses, limit the amount of courses you purchase. And one of the things I'm going to be doing in 2017, and I'm actually having both my parents and my wife help me out with this because it's something that I really struggle with, is I've made a commitment, kind of like a contract, if you will, where I'm not going to purchase a course or a piece of software. Actually, my problem is software, right? I love SaaS, way too many SaaS applications that just don't do anything. So I would invite you to join me on this commitment where you don't purchase another piece of software, another course, or buy another book until you're completely done with everything you have. And then once you think you're ready, write 1 or 2 pages like you have to sell yourself, right? Write 1 or 2 pages that explains why you think you need the book or you need the course. Now, if you're doing the library thing, which I keep picking these up because I don't know, there's a library like 2 blocks down the street, and I just figured out, hey, I could go get like 80% of the books that I ever want to read. I could just go rent it, right? I'll stop picking that up now. Anyway, and I want you to join me on this commitment of writing 1 to 2 pages on why you think you need this book, you need to buy this book, you need to buy this piece of software, or you need to buy this course. And then, and this is the key thing, even if the people who's ever selling the software, they're doing a product launch, it's only going to be available for a week. We all know 90% of that is BS anyway. It's always available later on down the road anyway. Give yourself, 7 days. So 7 days from when you read the sales letter, from when you watch the webinar, from when you watch this video sales letter, when AppSumo sends you that link. Wait 5 to 7 days before you purchase to make sure that you actually need it and it's not an impulse thing. And one of the things I've done is I've started to make a list, and this is another thing you do. Be preemptive, because you've got to combat entrepreneurial ADD. I think there's millions. Entrepreneurial ADD is a multi-million dollar industry, right? Because there are so many books on how to market yourself on social media, so many courses on how to make money online, right? And it's because we all know that we're just chasing the next best thing, because whatever we're doing right now isn't working. So this next course that we go pick up must be better, must be something that's going to work, right? And that's why we keep going for them. So that's why my challenge to you and my challenge to myself is to commit to actively combat shiny object syndrome as an entrepreneur. So that's ADD number 1. Hopefully you're still with me. Number 2 is project ADD or idea ADD. And this is one that I really struggle with. So for example, in this series, I've been showing you how I'm building a sales funnel. Well, unfortunately, this is not the only side project I have in addition to working part-time, right? So I've got the part-time job, I've got this one, then I've got another funnel that I've been playing with that's much more simplistic for AdWords consulting. And then I have another startup that I'm going to actually be sharing with you in a couple of months here. So that's 4 things I'm juggling, right? On top of, trying to continue to work out and, be active with my family, right? So it's hard to juggle 4 projects and then at the end of the day, come home or go to a family dinner and actually be awake and be smiling and be interested in what other people have, as opposed to just kind of sitting there thinking about all the things you have to do the next day. So there's definitely that work-life balance thing, but that's not what this video is about because I'm not an expert on that. So back to entrepreneur ADD. Number 2 is idea or project ADD, right? We have all of these great ideas or we have all of these projects that we're working on. And I know for me, this particular mode of thinking comes from my accounting and investment background, because with investing, you don't put all your eggs in one basket. You're very strategic. You're very strategic with the limited resources you have. In this case, it's our time and energy, and you're putting it towards things that you think are going to get you to wherever you want to go. So whatever your goal is, or your dream lifestyle, or your dream day, if you will, whatever you're working on now, you think is going to get you to that point. And so instead of just focusing in on one particular project or one particular business, I find myself and other entrepreneurs that I work with and hang out with have this problem where we just have so many ideas. Our brains are literally pulling us in opposite directions. So in the morning, the first 4 hours of the day, I'll be working on AdWords accounts, and then I'll jump over to this tech startup that I've been working on. And then 3 hours later, I'm recording one of these videos for you guys. And then 2 hours later, I'm back to some AdWords accounts because a client wanted something. And then an hour later, I'm back to this, or I'm working on the sales funnel, so I have content for the next video I make for you guys. And that kind of sporadic jumping around, sure, it can be fun, right? If you enjoy what you're doing, it can be fun. But at the same time, imagine if I just said, you know what, today I focused on X, and it was just X the entire day. Imagine how much closer I'd be to that perfect day goal, if you will, or that lifestyle that I'm looking for, that style of life that I'm looking for, if I had just chosen one. And so that's going to be another challenge and commitment to myself over this coming year, is focusing on one project. So I still have my job, still have a family, you still have those obligations. But when it comes to being that part-time entrepreneur, aspiring entrepreneur, I'm going to choose one project. So I'll definitely record another video that's a little more personal than this one, talking about specifically what I'm going to be sharing with you guys over the next couple of months here. But I just wanted to record this video, talk about entrepreneurial ADD, and I apologize, it's been a little sporadic because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to share with you guys this week. We took a break for Christmas, and now it's kind of back to the hustle, back to the grind. And in this coming year, the hustle and grind is going to be very, very, very focused, right? So just to recap, the 2 types of entrepreneurial ADD, there's shiny object syndrome, where maybe you're picking up more books than you need to, you're picking up all the software that's going to do this cool stuff, or you're buying course after course after course, which is something I see a lot of in myself and fellow entrepreneurs. And then entrepreneur ADD type number 2 is idea and project, ADD, where you have all of these different ideas going on, or you've got all these different projects and opportunities. And that comes down to just knowing where to say no and where to say yes. So to wrap up the video, just want to thank all 161 of you guys for subscribing to me over this past year. It's been incredible. I think I've been doing this about 5 or 6 months now. I know other channels can grow faster, but I know you're here because similar to me, you're probably sick of entrepreneurial ADD, right? I mean, there's just so many distractions everywhere. It's amazing to me how much time I spend on my phone just disabling notifications. There's always another notification disable because we're just getting pulled in all these different directions. And something a book I'm going to recommend to you guys. I haven't even read yet. It's on hold at the library, but Deep Work by Cal Newport. I'll drop a link in the description below to his blog that talks about deep work. And this is one of the things where I think will help all of us really become focused and understand that this lifestyle lifestyle path that many of us is on, of being pulled in all these opposite directions and the constant, distractions, which is kind of related to entrepreneurial ADD, is actually weakening our ability to focus. And that's focus, whether you're talking about focus, a long-term aspect of I'm just going to work on one project for the next 3 months, or focus on I'm just going to work on this for the next 2 hours and not have the TV on in the background. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys. And you can tell I'm running out of things to say, so I'm gonna end the video here. Again, thank you to all of you guys for the wonderful comments, the little thumbs up you give on the videos. It really helps me just keep this going, and I'm excited to share some really big changes and awesome new content for you guys going into 2017. So until next week, keep building the business you love. Take care.